Hello and welcome once again to Stackflow Tech. My name is Emmanuel Meli. In the previous video, we had demonstrated on how we can do one-to-one table relation, and now I'm going to demonstrate many-to-many table relation. Since we will be getting data from a different table, we can have our property, as we said earlier, as a table relation referring to other table. And so, as said earlier, if you have a single primary key, you don't have to be explicit in terms of pointing out which field you want. It will automatically pick the primary key. And something interesting is about to happen here. We need to ensure that some data such as the first name, last name, phone number, etc. from this table can come to this table. So we can use a trigger. This is a snippet for trigger. Then click enter. So, and then click on validate. Since we will be getting data from a different table, we can create a local variable here, or alternatively, we can have a global variable down here. But let's use this local variable so that it can be visible as we proceed. So I'm going to create a variable for others, and then it will be it's a record from which table? The other table. Now, this variable will help us reach the data from this record. So now, I'm just going to get into some terms such as the reset. It's a property for records which clears any available or any form of ranges that had been set, any form of filters that had been set to this record. We assume that some filters had been set, so we have to reset. Just do that so that you avoid any trouble. So since we have a single primary key in this table, then it will be simpler. But if we add more primary keys, we'd use some other properties such as set range or set filter, probably set range. But for now, we'll just use get. Then we will introduce an if we'll check will if under this variable dot get, if we get a record which has the same order ID as what we pull here in our, you remember there's a drop down, then what? Then we populate this data. So since we have a list of data, we can open the begin and end. In AL, you have to use this if you are going to get more than one field. You are going to get the first name. So the first name you use assignment operator, this one, and you have to specify which record, which table from where you're getting the data. We are getting from others, and we'll get the first name. And then we'll do the same for the last name. Other. Remember this authors variable already has the filters. We've already gotten a record of this ID, the ID that I'll show you in the front end. So others dot phone, then finally we have email as others, others dot email. So now it means we've gotten a record from this table here. And how we get a record? We are getting a record in our table relation. It's like a drop down. We'll see a list of records from this table, and then we select one of them, and then that one of them, the primary key of that record, we just run through here as a parameter of get. Then it gets for us that record. It has several fields which I've listed them here, and then it will transfer the data from those source table to destination table. our destination table is this current table, the book author. So now there's another property that I want us to use right here so that we don't let people type names, because we are sure the names are already there in the authors table, in the author table. So I'm going to have a property called editable to be false, because we don't want anyone to edit, so that we can limit the errors, and we can also ensure that we have consistency in our information. So it means they will only be allowed to pick from here. And the reason that I've included this property right here in the book ID is because this ID, we are not going to enter any ID. I will show you how that ID will allow to pick from the primary record to this secondary record right here. So this is a page. No, this is the table. We are going to go to the page, and then we'll not do much in the page. We just go to our primary card, which is a book. This book, remember, this is a page type card. So under the page type card has different things, properties. It has layout. Inside the layout, you can have areas, you can have groups, you can also have parts. So we're going to have a part, and this part, let's call it others. And then we terminate, then we give another parameter. Now the actual object that you want to call right here, which is the other authors. Remember, this is page type list parts. You can only use tables of type list parts, else it will give you a warning, or worst case scenario, an error. So under the parts, we need to expose it using the application area as basic switch, or you can use all if you like shortcuts. And another most important property right here in the part is called the subpage link. Now, the subpage link will help us send the primary key of this record to be the foreign key in this table. What I mean is this. This is a list, and then it has a source table. I'm going to drill down and explain what happens. The subpage link will auto-populate, or will auto-send the. So for this property, the subpage link to work effectively, we'll need to do some justice. And that is, we need to specify which field are we going to link, to use in linking the table that has this page and this table here, the book and the authors, the book authors table. We have two tables that we want to link. We want to relate book authors to this book, many authors to this single book. So now what we will do, we will specify the field that we want to use from this table, from the book authors, the table that has the book authors page. So we will use the book ID. It's a secondary key, and then we will relate with a field that is in this table, which is the primary key of this table. It's called the book ID. This will ensure that we are going to have a book ID in the table that has this page, in the book author table. So now, if we publish this, we are going to see what we've been doing. So I'm going to publish. So it has published successfully. Let's open on the books, and then let's open the card, since it was the card where we did some justice. Now you can see there's something new here. This part, okay, first of all, this is a card. A card has its own properties. It has the group. This group, we called it general, and then it has this part here. It's called the book authors part. So now we're going to see whether we can relate this book with authors. Let's see. We have one author here. And then you saw some magic where you're having the information from this record here, and this record is from a different table. Now, all this information came from a different table, which is table author right here. Unfortunately, we have one record from that table. So if you try to repeat again to select the same record, it will bring us an error. And that is an error of validation, since record in the book folder already exists here, because we already have it up here. So we can refresh, and that's how you do many-to-many relationship. There will be many authors under one book. So guys, thank you for watching, and check it out for the next video. Please subscribe, like, and share.